Welcome, Queen. So I was in church the other week, and one of the people there asked a question which inspired today's life lesson session: when to let go, when to forgive, and when to just move on. And sometimes when people ask a question, we can immediately want to respond. Have you ever found yourself thinking back and wondering, should I give this person another chance? Or should I just let them go? If so, then let's talk. Because when it comes to forgiveness, please hear me. Because there's a myth about forgiveness. And the myth is this: that forgiveness is for the other person, that forgiveness means you're weak. And that's not true. Because the thing about forgiveness is this: it's actually for you. And when you forgive someone, it does not mean you're weak, because it is not you saying that you dismiss or disregard what that person done that hurt you or that brought you pain. It is simply saying that I acknowledge that you are a human being, and because I acknowledge you're a human being, I understand that you are flawed just like I am flawed, and I refuse to allow what you did to keep me stuck holding on to unforgiveness and bitterness. I refuse to let you take up real estate in my mind subconsciously, because I am holding on to unforgiveness. I once heard it said like this: unforgiveness is like you drinking poison and then expecting the other person to die. It doesn't work like that. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you are subconsciously, you may not be conscious of it, but in your subconscious, you are keeping this person in that place, in that space of saying, I remember what you did. I remember how you hurt me. I remember. And so I'm not going to forgive you. I won't let you forget. And so you are stuck. And guess what? Sometimes they may not even be thinking about you. They could have moved on with their life while you're stuck there holding on to unforgiveness. And it creates resentment and bitterness. And that's not a good thing. So, when you choose to forgive, please understand it is not important to them because you're weak. It's you freeing yourself from allowing them to continuously hurt you by something they may not even be doing anymore. And then there's this stance of, should I give them another chance? And when it comes to giving a person another chance, and this is why I stay quiet, because that question right there, although that was part of the question, that could stand on its own, because that is going to depend on the situation and what all took place. When you ask, should I give this person another chance? You are acknowledging that whatever they did, it hurt you in a significant way, to make you pause, to make you stop and consider that giving them another chance may not be wise. And so when a person does something that puts you in a place and a space that says, I may need to protect myself from you in the future, then that is not a cookie cutter answer that someone should just give you. So I want you to ask yourself this question: as it relates to this person, how are they negatively impacting your life? Think about that. Because there are no neutral relationships. Every relationship you have in your life is either helping you or hurting you. It's moving you forward, helping you progress, or it's holding you back, keeping you stagnant. So consider that. And here's another question you can ask as it relates to whether or not you should give a person another chance. If this person's behavior were to continue for the next 10 weeks, how would I feel about that? Would I accept it? If their behavior was to continue like this for the next 10 months, how would I feel? Would this be something I was willing to accept? If this person's behavior was to continue like this for the next 10 years, would I accept it? Would I be able to continue being in a relationship with this person? Because sometimes we are focused on right now, and we're focused on hoping, wishing, praying that this person makes a change, that they do things differently. And as I told you before, patterns of behavior, they matter. And so when a person shows you a pattern of behavior, you have to consider that that pattern of behavior may not change, because you don't have the authority to change them. So think about that as it relates to keeping this person in your life. And lastly, when it comes to moving on, I want you to know that moving on is not the same as moving forward. You see, too often we just move on and we don't heal. We move on and we hold on to the past. And in doing so, we bring the past with us because we just moved on and we didn't move forward. So consider that moving on and moving forward are not one and the same. So I would highly recommend that you think about what you mean when you say move on. Because if you're saying just act like it never happened, pretend that it didn't hurt you, just bury the feelings and emotions that came from what that person did to you, if you that's what you're calling moving on, then no, that's not wise, because those emotions are still there, and those emotions are still going to impact and affect your life. So think about those things, because like I said before, and I'll tell you again, we cannot avoid relationships. Relationships are a part of life, but we don't have to stay in relationships that are not healthy for us, and we don't have to keep allowing people to mistreat us, and we don't have to let unforgiveness build offense in us. And I want you to also know this: when people come into your life, it's not your responsibility to hold on to them or to force them to do what's in your best interest. It's their responsibility to commit to valuing you for the asset that you are in their lives and advocating for yourself if they don't. As always, I'm Coach Sam telling you that 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours you could change your life. So go ahead and do something life changing now.